welcome back to RC Icons. So in this video, TRF doubleheader from Buyee and a body shell that was donated by Ronnie in Germany. So the cars are a month old anyways. It's a funny story, and I guess I'll get into it when I open the box, but one of them I bought just for a hop-up part. The other one is potentially going to another channel. And then there's a bunch of new impact velvet shocks in there as well. Small, medium, and large. So let's get the camera over. We'll take a look at the body from Ronnie first. True gentleman. So when I did the Madcap restoration, my Madcap had that new never run yellow body on it, or I think maybe it may have been the one that turned into the Saint Dragon, and I had asked if anyone wanted that body shell in the video, and Ronnie had reached out, said he would take it, so I immediately sent it off to Germany. A year later, he returned the favor. And this body shell, I'm actually packing for Australia. This body shell has to go to Australia. It's going to get a paint job down there and then decaled up for one of my cars. It's a backup car, but one of my cars. So let's bring the camera over. We'll take a look at what we have here, and we'll get into the boxes. Alright, so the first box is already open because I wanted to make sure it came in one piece. It actually got lost in the house for a bit while my parents were in town, because I opened the box and I think it was sitting on the dining room table, and in the shuffle of them leaving, it got put somewhere and I didn't know where it went. So I was a little concerned, but we ended up finding it. So this is a Tamiya body set, and it is Top Force. Yeah, 58100. So he sent me a full Top Force body set, which is great. You guys actually just saw a Top Force body set come in, an original vintage one. This is a one, which is fine. It says 1991, but it feels thicker than the original, and the original didn't come with protective film. So yeah, this is a one, even though it's got the 58100 tag on it. But so I'm bringing my original Evolution runner that I got on Buyee, I don't know, 6-7 months ago, with the blue Teflon shocks from like the Dynastorm. Although they sold those shocks as hop-up shocks for any car, so the ones that are on there are probably just a hop-up set. But Ronnie knew I was bringing that car and sent me a set of MCI decals, and then he also threw in a set of sponsorship decals, Tamiya original sponsorship, and these actually have like the first TRF logo stickers on them, but it's got like F103, F102, you know, it's got a bunch of the old school sponsorship, which is great because sometimes you have cars that just need some sponsorship decals on it, and you turn to a sheet like that and you've got basically two of everything. So super cool. That's going straight into the decal collection. And then set of MCI reproduction Evolution, so not Evo, actually Evolution sticker set. So that's awesome. So this is going to go to Australia with me. Jason and I will get it painted up and decaled, or I will at Jason's house, but I'll get it painted up and decaled because that car does not have a body as of now. It's in a box ready to go, and there's no body on it. So that body set will go in a separate box but get shipped. Might as well keep the stickers in the folder, but get shipped out at the same time. I think I have 5 boxes going down, and they're not small. So it's going to cost me a small fortune, but it is what it is. So yeah, that will go down. And then frantically, I think I have not messed with the Tomy intruder. I have not messed with the Top Force Evo, and I have not messed with the Shoemaker Storm 2000. Now, the Evo and the Tomy are backup cars for the ZX and the XX4. I'm not sure where the Tomy lands, but you're allowed in a vintage bash. Like, I can run a couple of heats with the XX4, and then I could run a couple of heats if I wanted to with the Tomy. Now, you can go backwards with years, but you can't go forwards with years. So if it's a 94 to 97 class, you could run a car that was offered in 91. But obviously you can't go up. You can't run a 97 car in a 93 class. So it allows me to have those cars, even if they only get run at whatever, Castle Hill or at a different track, and I have footage of that, then it's still a win for me. The bash for me is more the social part of it, not as much the racing part of it. So I'm not all amped up as far as like set up, and I mean, I literally want to start in the back and pause 3 seconds, let everybody go, and then I get going, because I'm the type of person, if I wipe somebody out, I'm going to feel terrible about it. Like, I'm not a racer. That's not I have a competitive personality, but I'm a horrible driver. So I would feel awful if I wiped somebody out, like actually trying to race, and they're actually somewhat competitive. Now, I wouldn't think that I would be in a class with a competitive person, but there has to be a first place for all the finals. So whether it's an E final or a C final, there's still a number one. And I expect to be in the very last final at the very end, you know, and that's fine with me. Like, for me, it's just about running the cars. So yeah, I plan on kind of being in the back of the pack, away from everybody else, just trying to get around the track without affecting anyone else's day. Not a typical racer, you know, kind of strategy, but it is what it is. Again, for me, it's more the social aspect. Just being down there, hanging out, having fun, running some cars. It's going to be awesome. So, what happened here? Well, two things happened. A, love the bubble wrap. I've had Laser ZXS on my mind lately, and I came across one, and it was kind of cobbed up, and I don't even know that I would call it a ZXS, but it got me kind of thinking about parts and stuff like that. Like, if I were to come across one, the one I came across didn't have the right shocks, and it shares the same shocks as like the RB5 and ZX5. You guys know I'm a freak when it comes to the velvet shocks. So some velvets came up, and they're actually part numbered. It's the same. It's the same as the ZX5, the ZXS, the RB5. So I ended up going after them. I won a set of smalls, mediums, and larges. So that's large, I believe. That's probably small. Maybe that's medium. That might be medium. I think the small might be touring car, which I have a brand new set of already. Yeah, those are small. So smalls, mediums, and larges. Now, these are not easy to come by. I've been on Buyee 2 years now, and I've seen one other brand new set of shocks come up, and they sold. It wasn't an auction I could bid on, so I had to sit there and let somebody else buy them. And then I found another set of velvets. I had 2 sets actually. One set I bought, and apparently Buyee and Black Ship both, neither one of them like to ship built shocks. Now someone had said that to me at one point in an email, and I don't really get it, but because they're oil filled shocks, they don't want to ship them. They consider it a prohibited item if they're assembled already. If they're not assembled, no big deal. If they're assembled, it's a big deal. So I had bought in a set that were assembled, full set front and rears. I think I want them for like $79, and then Buyee didn't want to ship them, and I'm like, listen, just dump the oil out. And I went back and forth for 4 weeks. We're not equipped with specialty tools to do that. I'm like, you use your fingers and unscrew the top and dump out the oil. There's no specialty tools required. Well, after arguing with them for 4 weeks, finally I'm like, you know what, forget it. So I sent them the Black Ship. Cost me $12 to send them the Black Ship. They get the Black Ship. I fill out a customs declaration, try to ship them. No dice. They don't want to ship them. Prohibited item. So I immediately got on the horn with Meredith at Black Ship in customer service, and I said, Meredith, listen, I ship stuff through you all the time. They're just a set of shocks. Like, come on. Like, there's probably not even any oil in them. I said, I've done this before. I said, I'm willing to roll the dice, send them FedEx 3-day. If they get returned, I'm paying for it either way. What's the difference? She says, well, we'll do this for one time only. Well, I've done it like 5 times already, but apparently now it's one time only. I think it was another $45 or something to ship them from Black Ship to me. Lo and behold, they showed up 4 or 5 days later. So those did make it. But I won't buy another set of assembled shocks on Buyee for that reason. And I know somebody else ran into the same deal, because they were asking me about it, and I was like, I didn't know at the time, and I was like, I've never had that issue, but I've never bought in a set of assembled shocks. I'll buy big bores that are brand new, these that are brand new, so you don't have an issue when they're broke down. But if they're assembled, forget it. They're going to call you out on it. So beware of that. What else did I open just now? So just a couple of pinion gears. So these are Option House pinion gears, 2019 and a 23 tooth. But this is actually a 2-speed pinion gear. So the 19 slides into the 23. So I've got a bunch of 2 speeds, but I don't know what I have for pinion gears. So I saw this come up, and I picked it up just because it's a 4-tooth offset pinion, which is what the 2 speeds are, but it just lets me play with my 2 speeds. And then this lot came up. Now, you guys know I have a ton of Laser ZX5s, but I don't have a ton of decals. I literally have 1, maybe 2 decal sets that I've been able to pick up over the years. But I have like 5 of them, and I have like 5 body sets. So I'm sure MCI does some kind of Laser ZX5 decal set, but these came up. I think I want them for... This is the ready set version, so it's got the window masks or window surrounds and all the swooshes and all that garbage. I shouldn't say garbage. I think the ready set looks good, but it's got everything on it. But it's got the Laser ZX5, and it was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 sets for, I think it was like $34. So it wasn't crazy. So I won that, and then I think I have a set of FS that are on their way now that I also won. So that was cool. So story time. Gareth and I were talking. So Gareth just picked up a 211 XM. I think it was from Mike, same gentleman that I got my XMW from. Gareth has a 501. He's been searching for 501 steering, alloy steering forever. But in the process of him buying his 211, we were talking about 201 alloy steering. I think I've got maybe 2 sets, and they're like unobtainium. New and pack all day long, $300 for 2 little pieces of alloy. The 501 alloy steering is just as crazy. So there was somebody in Switzerland, I think, that had 5 new impact sets. So I think he was inquiring about them, and the guy wanted, it was like $599 for the plate and the alloy steering set. So a whole 501 steering setup was $600 US. And I was like, that's just nuts. I'm like, I mean, he can charge whatever he wants. He's got 5 sets of them. Do whatever you want. If you want to gouge people, gouge people. I get it. You have what you have, and it's worth what somebody's willing to pay for it, and I get it. I wasn't going to spend $600 on a set. So this came up on Buyee, and I literally bought it just because it's got the 501 alloy steering on it. I certainly did not need another TRF car. So I don't know what the future of this car is. I know the steering is coming off of it, and plastic steering is going back on. Or if I was going to sell the car, I may sell my other one that doesn't have alloy steering on it. Gareth is looking for a 501 runner. So this is the World Edition. Nice box. Jason at Jay's Quality Parts, or JRB, definitely wants a 501 box. So that's the plastic steering plate there. I have alloy steering plates already. So brand new body set, partially cut out, but not finished. He didn't take it to the cut line. So I mean, it's a brand new car. DB01 high traction rear. So actually, Jason at Jay's Quality Parts needs a set of rear arms with a dual pin. So Jason, there's your arms. High traction front arms. There's your brand new wing. The other reason I bought this car was because, nice big T-wrench, was because it came with full running gear. So it's got a super stock BZ in it. Not sure what the servo is. Says made in Japan. Competition 2 ESC. Of course, I don't know who makes it. Might be a CoPro. It's got a KR receiver. Yeah, it's a VFS1, so it's a CoPro. It's a CoPro. Beautiful car. It's a CoPro ESC. So when you look at it, it's got the steering plate, which is the base plate. You know, it's right here. And then it's got the full Tamiya alloy steering on it. So, super smooth. And then it's got the high density tires as well. So if you want that alloy steering and you want it new and packed, be prepared to spend $500-600 because that's what people are asking. So this car is ready to rip. I don't know if I would run it or not, but it's ready. So I paid $600. So I paid what the guy wanted just for the steering for the entire car with electrics, and it has the alloy steering on it. It also has, no, it's got the casters because that's the World Edition. It's got the rear uprights. It's got anti-roll bars front and rear. I'm not sure if that came stock on the World's Edition or not. There's your stock plastic steering set right there. It's got the manual. It's got some leftover decals. And they're the World's Edition decals. Ton of parts. Some diffs. Might have the gear diffs in here, but this some diffs. I'm going to open that for a second. It's got another set of springs. It's got the plastic uprights. So it is a Co-Pro Pro receiver. It's the VS1 Pro. And it is a Co-Pro servo. So full Co-Pro electrics in it. Setting springs. But in this bag, it's got some diffs. But it looks like it's got another set of the arm pivot points. It's got motor heat sink. It's got a dual slipper clutch as well as the slipper that's on there. It might have the eccentrics in there too, I'm not sure. It does have the 501 eccentrics. That's another $100 hop up. I knew that because these are the ones that come out. So it's got the tuning eccentrics in it that I've paid $100 for, and then a pile of slipper clutches and pinions. So an 18 and a 19, and then there's another set of pinions here. So obviously the guy had intentions of running it and or was running it. I'm going to say he was running it because he's got the ball diffs out, and I would be willing to bet that the gear diffs are in there. The DB01 gear diffs. So I bought it strictly for the steering. And I'm thinking that when you look at all of the electrics and all of the hop-up parts, I got a hell of a deal. Because there's a pile of stuff here. Brand new body. It doesn't have an under tray, but I've got a pile of them already. So that's the first TRF car. I gotta decide what I'm gonna do with it. Jason really wants this box. He doesn't have any TRF boxes. I've got two other 501s and both have boxes, so maybe this one will go to him. I know he really wants it. And then what's this one? Well, there's another channel that I've been a major part of over the years. One of my best friends. You guys all know and love him. You probably miss him because he hasn't had a video in endless. He's doing great though. I get asked all the time how he's doing. He is doing great. So I helped Glenn with his XM, his XR, his 211. So his 201 XM, his 201 XR, his 211, his 501, his 502, and then a couple touring cars. Those are going there. So obviously I've been a big part of his TRF collection. Well, the only one he's got missing at this point. So 201 XMW, I have one for him downstairs that needs to be rebuilt out of a 211. Yeah, 211. But the last piece of the puzzle is a 511. This is signed. Wow. This is signed by Shitashi. I didn't know that. So MS, right? Satoshi. I'm never going to pronounce his last name. So it's got his signature on the body. So I'm not sure if this was his car. Maybe this was his car. Either that or he just signed it for somebody. So this came up super smooth. And this has the 501 eccentrics on it as well. Is that what that is? Maybe it was standard on the 511. Yeah, it is. It's got the 511 eccentrics. This has the alloy steering bridge. So this one has an alloy steering bridge. It does not have the base plate, but I have a base plate for it. And then I think I have the arms for it as well. So I might be able to get full alloy steering in this one too. Now I have two 511s new in box, one to build, one to keep new in box. This is definitely a run car. But I was the only bidder on this car at $504. Which is absolutely crazy considering the fact that it's a signed car. I don't know what the difference really is between a 511 and a 501. Doesn't look like there's much. I'd have to put the two side by side. I mean, obviously with the way the rear arms and front arms mount is different, so it's got like different bulkheads, but that might be it. I know the steering is all the same. I'm not sure if the motor bulkhead, if it moved at all, or if that's all in the same position. But yeah, I bought this because I was the only bidder. It was what I thought was fairly cheap, $500. There's one on eBay right now for $800, and I didn't even know it was a signed car, but it's signed by whatever it's what is it? Satoshi. It's got his signature on it. So this may go to Glenn. I'm not sure. Maybe it'll turn into a trade. I just knew that Glenn needs a 511, and so I threw an opening bid on it, and no one bid against me. So we have another 511. The signature was a bonus. So super cool. It was obviously run. The bumper's got scuffs on it. Looks great. I mean, I don't know. I don't think you can go wrong with a TRF car. No oil in the shocks, really. No. So that's it. That's the boxes. I'm not even going to do a closing. This will be the closing. If you're not already a subscriber, I'd ask you to consider subscribing to support the channel. Let me know in the comments what you think of the cars and the parts. Thumbs up, thumbs down. Thank you again, Ronnie, for the body set. It's getting shipped to Australia tomorrow. Till next time, we'll see you soon. Thanks.